Hello everyone, it's Saturday, and that's normally a very rare time for streaming, but here we are. Trying out, like I said, this semi-new soft schedule of Wednesdays and Saturday nights, and just seeing if this works out better for everyone. It's kind of the same difference for me. So, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're having a good weekend so far. It's interesting to say happy Saturday. Hey, how's it going, Alex? Geiger. Hey, Pixels, haven't seen you in a while. I saw that you just moved. Hope that was smooth. And hey, Geiger, it's funny that you're celebrating your dad's birthday. Happy birthday to him, by the way, because yesterday was my dad's birthday, and I was, celebrating birthday with him too. So, small world. Alessandro, thank you for jumping in. Appreciate your support, by the way, in the Discord. Made a cake today. What kind of cake? Now I have to ask. How's it going, Sam? It's funny, Saturday I was supposed to go raiding with friends, or today for Destiny 2, that's what I originally was going to do, but then I didn't get any confirmation, so if they come back in a couple of hours and say, yeah, we're still raiding, then I'll cut this a little bit short. But until then, let's go ferry some spirits. Whoa, Pixels, your dad's birthday was yesterday too? Okay, now it's a really small world. Wow. What is it? What is it, that statistic where it's like if you take 23 random people, I think I'm getting the number right, 23 random people in a room, then odds are 2 of them will share a birthday, or something like that, or be born in the, I don't remember. Some weird experiment they ran. Where, probabilities would be that you ran your birthdays. But yeah. Is 65 how old he is, or is 65 the year he was born? Gotcha. It's been a couple days, I forgot about all the stuff we have to do. We have to do a lot of things here. Alright, Gwen's still upset. We need to build his house. We need to find pigs to even get pork chops. We need to build a sheep den. Head to bottom line core. That's right, we got the information that things are going down. A scandal. Simple cake. So you mean like a yellow cake or like a white cake? I mean, cake can take a lot of different things. Cake is a very complex thing. It's like saying I just made bread. Well, what kind of bread? There's hundreds of kinds of bread. Even if you just say you made a simple loaf, it's like, well, how did you make it though? Like, what did you make it with? Things like that. I'm curious about that sort of stuff. I think we have to get the upgraded blueprints. That's right, we need to get maple planks. Alright. It's nighttime, so we can't do anything, so good time to fish. Well, Pixels, happy belated birthday to your dad, and thanks for dropping in. Always great to hear from you. See, now that whatever time you spent packing, you're gonna spend twice as long unpacking. That's what I find. Hope everything Orion saved. Yellow cake. Nice. Busy week, by the way, in the game industry. I hope some people enjoy Killer 7. It is not the first video I've had to be flagged for being inappropriate for all audiences. I need to pay attention. But it is the first video I've ever had to put an age restriction on. And unfortunately, I know that irritates some people, but it covers a lot. Like, there's not appropriate stuff for young audience in that game. And the stuff that, I have to talk about, even lightly. Because, man, there's a lot more stuff in that game, if you want to talk about the dark places it go. But, that's about as clean as I can make it, while still being respectful to the content. It's not like we're all you know, we cover rated M games all the time. But not stuff that covers sensitive social issues, even in experimental context. And so I felt the age 18 was appropriate because we wouldn't want little children to be around for some of these conversations. But what that does mean is that if you're the type of person who either doesn't have a like a YouTube or Gmail account or something like that, no Google account, then, and you just kind of like just watch stuff, then you probably couldn't watch this because it requires you to log in with some such thing to prove that you're 18 or older. And if you're not 18 or older, and you're also watching my stuff, thank you. I didn't think I hit such a young demographic. According to YouTube analytics, most of my demographic is like 30 to 40, which is, you know, right where I am. So I guess I'm attracting I guess everybody here is kind of the same crowd that I hang out with normally. It's kind of cool to think about, but at the same time, makes sense given the years of the games that I cover. But just goes to show you that there's a lot of interesting stuff all around. You sound a lot different than the vids? You think so? It depends on which video you're talking about, because this is my normal voice. I don't use any sort of modulation or synthesizer. However, there are a couple of videos, and I was thinking when I put up the Bravely Second video, it does sound different. And if you listen to half of the Final Fantasies, they may sound a little bit either more moderate or lower in tone. And the reason why is because I recorded those when I was sick. I recorded half of the Final Fantasies when I was horribly sick. So when your voice is nasally or you sound so tired because you're just so low energy, then yeah. But no, my voice is pretty consistent. If you listen to more of my videos, then you know you kind of notice that I just talk the same. I try to control my pacing. There are some times when even I will admit that I speak a little too fast. And also, when you are reading off of a script, it helps to enunciate, slow down, and properly pronounce each of your words. So perhaps the tone and pace with which you are hearing things may alternate based on the product with which we're talking. And you would be the same way if you were reading, say, a speech or a prepared document or preparing something in front of a group to talk about. I need to stop being hasty with these fishing poles. But right now, we're just off the cuff. But thanks that one, Sin, for talking about it anyway. How you doing tonight, by the way? Small fry stuff. So yeah, my Ned's birthday was yesterday. And what do we have this week? I put out a video. I need to put out the deep cut on that, which I'm working on, was working on. And we had a PlayStation State of Play, and we had a Pokemon Direct this week too. I tweeted out earlier, hey guys, stop whipping yourselves into a frenzy asking for literally everything. Though, to be fair, unless they set expectations, it's not entirely unfair for people to think that, are we at least going to get an update on several of the projects that you announced a year ago? You know, because this time last year, that's when they were really starting to lean in heavy on, oh, you really need to buy our system because PS5, because we're going to have this and we're going to have that and blah, blah, blah. And like anybody should have noticed, if you don't see a year on a trailer, then you need to assume at least 2 years. Unless they really put in some, I need to pay attention. Unless they really put in a date or at least a target year, if they don't put any year, assume at least 2 years. It's nice when stuff happens in launch year, but all the people who thought stuff like God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Zero Dawn 2, even Ratchet and Clank were going to be launch titles, oh man, all of you guys are suckers. They suckered you hard. Like, let me teach you how marketing works. Most marketing isn't honest. It's there specifically to deceive you. And so when you have to look past marketing speak, like with Final Fantasy that got revealed, it's hard to say that it's going to be, you know, we're all assuming that's going to be a PS5 exclusive based on its wording, but they've also alluded with different wording, previous games being PlayStation exclusive as well, but us taking it and meaning that, okay, it's going to be PS5 exclusive, and it turns out it's not. You know, they would want you to believe that that's the case in order to push sales, but they haven't exactly been clear and honest consistently in the past. So there's no reason to believe that they're being clear and consistent in any other announcements. So that being said, we're just going to have to wait and see now, aren't we? In June or later in the year, we're like, okay, here's this special version. But you can only get it on PS5. Hey Griffin, how's it going? And thanks Griffin, by the way, for jumping the Discord. I appreciate that. You're here all the time, so it's good to be able to reach out otherwise. Sun's rising. Alright, we need to set course for... Ooh, a quarry. So we need to mark this weird shrimp thing because we couldn't do anything. Right. I just want everybody to know that whoa. Gosh, the sunrise and sunsets are so weird. So Geiger, what was your reaction to Pokemon remakes? I'll get to that in just a second. Let me finish up the PlayStation. So I walked in, like I did always, with these shows. And I'm like, okay, just tell me whatever you're going to tell me. And while I appreciate that there was only 30 minutes, they didn't spread it out any longer than it needed to, I'll be honest, I didn't feel much heat from that at all. A lot of those games looked okay. I think Sifu was the most important one that kind of looked like, okay, this looks like this might be kind of fun. But nothing else looked interesting. Kina, by the way, still has yet to sell me. You have to do a lot more in today's day and age than just have a good-looking character and good-looking visuals, because so many games have good-looking visuals. You have to do much better than that. You have to show me gameplay. That trailer they showed was 90% CGI and 10% gameplay. The gameplay they showed wasn't exactly great. You're not selling me what my experience is going to be in that game, and that's kind of important because this is not your first trailer. You've had a trailer over a year ago, and this trailer shows nothing new. All it shows is, hey, we have cute forest creatures and CGI on the level of a Pixar movie. Okay, well, I knew that a year ago. What else are you doing? This is the part where you need to be like, okay, in this past year, here's some cool sizzle stuff, like the cool stuff you're gonna do in our world, in our game, or have an idea what kind of game we're even signing up for. Is it stage-based? Is it world-based? Is it open world? Is it a linear narrative? Is it gonna be story-focused? Is there co-op? Is, like, what's going on with this? I don't know. We don't have any more information, and so for that, I can't be excited. You can't just ooh-ah me with graphics. Maybe you can with some people. It's like, hey, if it looks pretty, it's good enough. And it's true, the presentation is the first thing people see. But you already made a presentation trailer last year. Now we need to dig into the meat a little bit and give me something of substance to chew on and think about. The reason why nobody's talking about your game except for how pretty it is because you haven't given anybody anything to talk about. So if all you're showing me is very basic, simplified exploration combat on top of just really, really expensive visuals, then what you're showing me is we paid more artists to make this look good than we did writers to make it interesting, or programmers and gameplay designers to actually make this fun and full of content. And that, you see it so many times. I don't want Kina to fail. I don't want any game to fail. But I'm telling you that it's raising all sorts of red flags. And if you have a gimmick, you need to sell that gimmick. Like, Kina is not selling anybody on anything. So, I'm still waiting to see if that game is even worth even just looking at. Sifu, however, went with the right way, where it showed something like, hey, we're going to be like a kung fu game. You know, it's going to be like over the shoulder. We have a lot of techniques and combos and ways to chain things. We're all about punching generic dudes in the face, and if you fall, you get a little bit older. Okay, okay. We got something to talk about here. Cool. and they showed a variety of environments, they showed a variety of moves. So you know what? Sifu did a better trailer than Kina in terms of quality. And then for a first trailer, for a first look, Sifu has now looked at, okay, now I'm curious to see what the next trailer is going to show me in terms of information. Because Kina dropped the ball. Kina had an opportunity, and Kina tried to sell us the same trailer twice. That's stupid. So hopefully Sifu doesn't botch that. This one's fighting. Now we have Final Fantasy. And I just want to point out, everybody who made fun of my satire in my review for Final Fantasy VII saying, hey, the main story is complete, but the overall story is incomplete, and so additional supplements are going to be made. And I kept pointing the example of how every single Final Fantasy for the last over 10 years, actually almost 20 years, the last 20 years, every Final Fantasy mainline has done this. Where after they put out the game, you know, it's not complete, and so they keep putting out additional stuff for it. They keep doing it. And, you know, what people kept flogging 15 for that, you know, even though 15 ended up very well and very good and very complete, people are like, oh, well, when it first started out, you couldn't get the whole story, so when I first played it, you know, it was lame for that reason. They kept fragmenting off into episodes and DLC. Well, look what they're doing again. Exactly what I told you they were going to do again, which is create more DLC that's story relevant, and so you're not getting the complete package with what it came out up front. So I hope that all that salt that everyone's throwing at 15 for doing that sort of shenanigans, they throw at 7 for doing the same exact thing. It's stupid. It's just a cash grab move to try to sell more PS5s. It's not in the interest of the game. So when episode Yuffie comes out, will I eventually get it? Sure. Will I play it? Yeah. But now you just thoroughly convinced me that getting your game once again at day one is not worth it, because at the end, I'm sure it's going to be great. But this is already a game that already was fragmented to begin with. It's not like 15 where people were like, huh, there were big gaps here in the story, so it wasn't complete. It got completed later. Well, this is a game that we already know isn't complete. It was already sold up front that, hey, we're going to take the complete storyline of the previous game and we're going to divvy it up into multiple chapters. How many chapters? We haven't figured that out yet. So we were already getting an incomplete overall narrative. And, oh man, whatever that was probably really good, but I got too greedy. And now you're getting a fragmented version of a fragmented version. It's like, what? And people are gonna just think it's okay, even though they were just whining. Anybody who whined about 15 for doing that has to just, you know, eat their shoe. So yeah. Griffin, yeah, Deathloop was a good trailer. Deathloop has been feeding information and gameplay and concept of story with each one of the trailers. Each one of the trailers has been themed after, hey, let's show the factions. Hey, let's show the main character. Hey, let's show gameplay. Hey, let's show the variety of levels and what the time loop mechanic's about. They've been doing a pretty good job of drip feeding their information. So Deathloop had a good trailer too. That's a good bring up. I may check it out because I do like what they've done with Dishonored. That studio's been very solid with it, and of course Prey, they did an excellent job with that, so I might check that out. We'll see. I'm not the biggest fan of roguelikes or roguelites, so when we do stuff like that where it's meant to be highly repeatable on purpose, it's just eh. Oh, you know what? I need to check my crops. Alright, we're gonna step on that island real fast. Let me just water this stuff. I am, however, very glad that one of the things I made a big old wish list a while ago saying, hey, if they ever remake 7, here's the stuff I want them to do. One is, please retcon this entire mess of a Final Fantasy storyline that you have for this universe, because you have retcons upon retcons upon retcons. Please sort this out. And when they did it in 7 with a lot better character development, way better character than the original 7, I was pleased, because that was another one of my complaints. And when they started showing stuff like Original Avalanche, I was like, yes, they're bringing in stuff like Before Crisis and Crisis Core. It's like, I really do hope that they retcon all this stuff in. And they are! And so when I saw them, I'm like, yes! That's so good! Also, I'm glad that they're kind of introducing Yuffie early on, because before, one of the biggest problems I had is, yes, Yuffie and Vincent were basically guest characters, you know? They weren't all that relevant to the plot and all that. But here's the thing, Red 13 and Sid were also guest characters. They're just guest characters that happen to overstay their welcome. Because Red 13 and Sid are just so... They act as guest characters because they're introduced very quickly. Their problem and their solution and quest line are solely tied to one town that once it's over, they're irrelevant to the entire storyline. They're just background characters that you use to fill out a party. They serve no purpose narratively. And so it's like guest characters that just don't leave a party. And so I was like, man, it'd be great if they actually brought in more of these characters with better character development and actually relevance for why they're the party. Because even in the game, when, like, I remember this scene so well. In the hotel, after Cloud's been, like, you know, having his crisis, the parties are standing around looking at each other and like, why are we even here? What are we even doing? And that's exactly what I was saying. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? You don't have a character motivation to be here. This game is about Cloud, and his supporting cast is Tifa, Barrett, and Ketchy / Reeve. That's all that game. That's all that game is. Everyone else is just a guest character, and so I really wanted them to address that and retcon it, especially since you know they showed Zack and all that, and they showed Ketchy so early. And I also want them to address why Vincent, especially for going into, because they showed Deep Ground. The moment they saw him, like, oh my god, it's Deep Ground. And then when you saw Vice, you're like, it's definitely Deep Ground. They brought it back. Cool, so Dirge of Cerberus and Crisis Core are back on the menu, which is great. Oh, what's up? Oh. So when that happened, I was very pleased to see that, because I'm like, perfect. You need to do that setup stuff very early and make them more relevant to the overall story than how you handled it originally, which was bad character development. That's one of the things I never liked about 7, that I always have a hard time conveying to people who have nostalgia goggles on for it, is 7 had terrible character development. 7 also had garbage party cohesion. See, when you talk about party cohesion, you kind of have to... It's the part where, and anybody who plays tabletop knows this, your party needs a reason to even be around each other and stick around and do this sort of stuff. Not everybody is on the, oh, we're on the destined fate train, or, oh, we're here because we're all friends in love. Nobody in 7 calls themselves friends. Later, in like Advent Children and Dirge, then they go back and say, oh yeah, we were actually friends, but they were not friends, nor were they established as friends in 7. All that was just wishful thinking and retconning. Speaking of retcons, I wonder how they're going to retcon the fact that Vincent, like I said, is a world-ending weapon stored inside a core in his body. I wonder if they're just going to address that. Oh yeah, it turns out I'm actually Chaos, it's a hidden weapon, meant to fight Omega. A backup emergency plan that somehow didn't trigger during the original events, yet is somehow easily triggered in the sequel game, and yet, you know, I never reacted to it. I just didn't do it before because I was tired or something, I don't know. Whatever. Lucrezia. I was like, wow, this is bad writing. But, yeah, everybody who's looking at that and wondering who Vice was, yeah, go watch, Dirge of Cerberus, where Hojo downloads himself into the dark internet and becomes an internet ghost. And I'm not even exaggerating. It's literally what happens. Is there going to be an ability where we can travel up these wires? Because we can't jump on them. This might be something we come back to. Maybe we can ride the lightning there. Or maybe it's a switch or something. So yeah. When I saw episode Yuffie, I was like, this is the sort of complementary story writing that they need. At the same time, god damn it, why are you being episodic again? Which, by the way, is another reason why I don't like doing recaps within the first year of a new game's release, for exactly reasons like this. Especially some companies like Square love doing that, WB as well, where they just love a year later, hey, it's been about a year, so how about you play our game with this new story stuff? And I'm like, oh my god, stop this. Yeah, hidden treasure, baby. Nice. Amethyst, okay. I'm not selling that. I'm not giving it to Snake Lady either. Sorry. I know you're helping out, but I don't want to give you Amethyst. Oh. There was a theory that Final Fantasy VII Ours is equal to the entire Final Fantasy VII universe. Yeah, I've heard that theory too. I don't subscribe to it. I mean, of course, we also have to talk about the ties to Advent Children, because Advent Children, of course, is directly references. So they are bringing all of the Final Fantasy world of retconned into this timeline, which is cool. Which also leads me to Ever Crisis, which is also going to, I don't know, summarize all the retcons, but also do so within the context of their events. There's a whole lot going on there. And the fact that it's also incredibly episodic means that this could just be like a Final Fantasy IV, the After Years thing, where it takes about a year for all the stuff to come out, and all the chapters collectively are kind of underwhelming. I'm like, okay, people don't set their expectations too high, because their episodic storytelling has not historically been great. Just saying. Just saying. Am I glad it's coming? Sure. Am I hinging the story to be better? Maybe. They're stepping in the right direction already, though. So, pretty satisfied with what we're getting. What I would like is if they redo slightly an episode just about Sephiroth that kind of covers his angle from Crisis Core, because one of the things I love about Crisis Core is, first off, fantastic character development, excellent character writing, excellent pacing, excellent mood delivery, and great way to end a finale. It had such a Romeo and Juliet aspect to it, in terms of everyone knows the ending of Romeo and Juliet, so why do we continue to study Romeo and Juliet? Because it's not about the ending, it's about the events that led up to that ending and the way it was executed. That's the significance. Because so many people are like, oh, well, you know, if you know how story ends, what's the point of listening to it? Then clearly you don't understand Romeo and Juliet. Because we don't do that. We watch it knowing that they're going to die in the end, it's going to be tragic. That's what makes the rest of the story interesting. And that Crisis Core did the same thing. We know Zack dies in the end, but the fact that they still made it such an interesting, memorable, and emotionally moving moment when it happened is good writing. That's good character development. That's good writing. I said it twice for effect. And so that level is what I would like to see more of. We need to come back to this place later, but we got a lot of good, valuable stuff here. And what's good too is that, you know, Final Fantasy VII was so long ago, it's almost 25 years old, and people these days, you know, there's a whole generation and a half that don't know anything about it. Even if their parents or, you know, other gaming people constantly talk about it, they're like, why do they keep talking about this old-ass game from 1997? Whatever. I'm not gonna have time to play this. I'm too busy playing this, that, or the other. And they're right for it. It's one of the reasons why I made Recap, is because it is... Oh, we have another one of these shrimp guys. But we don't have anything to do with it. Oh, fast travel spot. Nice. Ooh, there's pork there. Alright, we need to go there. We gotta get some bacon. Because it is very unreasonable to ask somebody, hey, I need you to stop everything you're doing, stop playing all the interesting stuff that you want to play, and I need you to play this game from over 2 decades ago just so I can have a conversation with you about how much I like it. That's not exactly a very convincing sell, just saying. You know, the day-night transitions in this game are actually not great. I like this game overall, but man, that's jarring. So... we shall see. I know there was rumors for a while that Final Fantasy VII Remake would actually be, damn it, would be coming to PC, which I still hope is kind of the case. But we'll see. Anyway, that's it. Final Fantasy VII was kind of the key announcement. Man, the fish here are getting tougher. What is up with these transitions? Oh my god. Maybe it's because the afterlife is weird. But, yeah, maybe that's just where we just have to remain and see. I know they said they took, what's his face? Nomura off the main project because they wanted to focus on other things. Sure. That's the same thing that happened during 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3, where they kept throwing him on multiple projects because all their directors left. They don't exactly have a deep bench of directors. That's the reason why the person who's doing 16 is what the assistant director to the development of 14. It's just, man, they just don't have a lot of directors. At the same time, some new blood might be appreciated, but they are stretching out some of these people way too much. So anyway, that's enough about the Sony one. Now let's talk about Pokemon. So, I went into Pokemon. Yeah, of course, I heard about the rumors and the quote-unquote leaks, but let's be for real. There's so many quote-unquote rumors and leaks that happen before shows because that's the best time to talk about them, that it's always safe to just ignore them, because most of the time they're just bunk. They're just people right before saying, oh, this is what it's going to be about, this is going to be about. I'm just glad that all the people with their I want Sinnoh remake signs can just change those now to I want Unova remake signs. That's what they're doing right now. The same people will just keep barking for it. Overall, I think that was a very good direct. It was focused. I think the legacy montage before, even though it was like 10 minutes long, I love that sort of stuff. It's so cool, it's so wholesome, it's so nice. It's great to see where, it's great to appreciate where you are when you look back and see where you've been. It looks fantastic. And then when they led with an update on an old game, which is great, Pokemon Snap 2, cool, looks good, look forward to it. Hey, we're outsourcing this to somebody else. Great, because Game Freak doesn't exactly do the best job with the remakes anyway. No problem. Boop. Okay, here's the Diamond and Pearl remake. Cool. You know? They are retaining the Game Boy style of the sprites, little chibi sprites. I know it's a controversial decision to some people, and I know some people immediately brought up the example of Link's Awakening, which also chose to do the same thing. But here's the thing, it's like, that's the whole point. Like, they wanted to retain the legacy of that art style of being on the Game Boy. Yes, most kids these days don't even know what the hell a Game Boy is because it didn't exist. It's technology from yesteryear. I getcha. Can I not? Oh, you look like you might be something. Alright. I need to kill a pig. But honestly, it doesn't bother me. Especially when the rest of the game looks like Let's Go, and that's fine to me because Let's Go was great. Let's Go is... it's a different version of Pokemon Yellow, but the quality of life improvements Let's Go has done are undeniably very good. Let's Go did a lot of good things. Do I still prefer original Yellow? Yeah, kinda, but there's a little bit of nostalgia in that too. But Let's Go was perfectly fine. It was perfectly good. So, I think Diamond Pearl Remake is great. I, however, don't like the fact that they are splitting it up into 2 games, because there is less reason to do that for 2 reasons. Number one, the whole 2 versions gimmick has not been well played for many years. Decades, you could argue. So there's no point in doing it. It's not cool. And second, why not just do Platinum? You know? It's like Platinum was already just like you did for Let's Go, which was stupid for taking a game that was already a compiled version of 2 games and splitting it to 2 games. Why not just do Platinum and just make it 1 game and just put all effort into that? Like, what's the point? There's no point in 2 versions now. It's just literally to get more money. Will it work? Absolutely. But it's kind of dumb this time. They're not even pretending there's a reason. Aren't you having a problem right now? We're buying all your pork. Maybe not all your pork, just 10 of them. Actually, we could buy more pork. Ooh, I kind of want the... Jesus Christ, $9.90 for apple seeds? Jesus Christ. Oh, okay, because it grows into an apple tree. Actually, don't I have apple seeds? I might have apple seeds. Oh, we need to go visit that dude that buys our junk. Alright, I'm gonna buy pork from you, because I've yet to get pork. I didn't mean to buy that rice. That's alright. Actually, we do need some linen seeds. Man, look at his little big old cheeks moving. That's so cool. The animation in this game's so nice. Ooh, glide! Alright, so we need to make somebody else happy on our team, which we haven't done yet. That's what this is. Makes sense. But yeah, like Diamond and Pearl Remake looks great to me. Looks good. If you want a Diamond and Pearl but a fresh coat of paint, that is exactly what you got. And some people are like, it's too literally a remake. I'm like, okay, thank you for giving me ambiguous expectations and yet not defining what success is in your mind. That's so helpful. Great job. I bet you excel at your workplace because of that. Otherwise, final one, Pokemon Legends. Cautiously optimistic. Because you showed me a big wide open field. Everyone's like, oh, it's a Breath of the Wild game. Okay, before anyone's... Because all of social media is like, Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild. Stop it. Just because they show a giant field doesn't make it Breath of the Wild. Remember a couple years ago when they showed the wild area in Sword and Shield and everyone's like, oh, Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Wait for them to show more of the game. Everyone's so quick to jump the gun. Good lord. And, however, it is what a lot of people, myself included, want. Wide open areas, Pokemon are walking around on their own, you can catch them and battle them. The battles are done in real time, more or less. You know, they actually walk up and slap each other instead of doing the cutaways, which I'd never agreed for them doing for a while. I don't think that was progressive. And taking place in the distant past is kind of cool. I hope they take advantage of that in some thematic way, like maybe having more primal reversions. Because if it's like 1,000 years ago or however many years, then they need to show something reflecting that in the Pokemon. And don't have anachronistic Pokemon like Porygon in there. Unless he has a primal reversion, or instead of being created out of like a computer, he would just be created out of, I don't know, something. Maybe he's like a fairy or something, I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Alessandro. There was a time, for some of you who can remember, I'm sure many of you can, when every single open world game, if you were based in a city or had cars, you were compared to GTA. There was just no helping it. You were compared to GTA. Or if you were an action game and you had a quick time mechanic in any way, you were immediately compared to God of War. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you did. It's just people are just so myopic in their vision and just their scope of what they understand of how big the game industry is, that if they just see something that looks kind of like something else, they just assume it's a clone. It's just, oh, God, stop it. That's right, we can make pork chops now. Let's make pork chops. But yeah, I am also pleased when they showed that the 3 starters you had the option of was Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott, because those were actually the same exact starters I chose for their respective games. So to me, I'm like, cool, they picked my exact picks. I'm so happy. However, knowing what I know now about what they turn into, I am only going to choose Cyndaquil. First, I'm glad they showed Cyndaquil with his flame on, because so many times they show Cyndaquil and Typhlosion with their flame off, so they just kind of look like weird mammals. I don't even know, like, what they're really... I don't even know what is Cyndaquil... Or not Cyndaquil. What exactly is Typhlosion based on? Like, what animal is it based on? Either way, it's a weird beast. But it looks better when it has its little flame wreath. And so to me, I hated it when they constantly showed it without it on. Like, oh, he only powers it on when he's about to do a fire attack. I'm like, I guess that's true, but it's also kind of lame. But yeah, I like Cyndaquil with flame on all the time. That's what I always wanted. So I'm definitely gonna pick Cyndaquil. Also, Gen 2 power. Come on, man. How can I not? I said I was going to make pork chops, and I completely went by the kitchen and did nothing. How relatable is that? It's stuff I do in real life. You go and you go to the kitchen, you think you're going to do something, and then you immediately go to the kitchen like, why did I come in here for? Alright, let's just cook it by itself. And let's see what happens. Ooh, is this like a prime fishing area? Or somebody we talked to? Tuna. Okay, well, let's go get some quartz from this dragon. Sensory's right there. So. And Pokemon Legends comes out next year. Perfect. Fine by me. Take your time. Is it going to be the pseudo Pokemon MMO everyone's been asking for forever that has real-time combat, open world exploration, Pokemon that appear on the field? Who knows? We'll see. What I would like to say is, between all these Zelda Pokemon comparisons, I've tweeted this out, but I want dungeons to return. Remember when dungeons were a thing you had to actually be prepared for? You're like, oh, you're going through Mount Moon? Pack up on them potions, boy, and them repels. You know, it's going to be a long time when you go through this cave with all the trainers and all the frequent encounters that you're just going to be plain beat up, and you don't want to do a walk of shame all the way back to the last Poké Center. You know, you have to prepare for long bouts of not seeing any help, of being on your own, and actually weathering the environment for a bit. So, I want more of that. And same thing for Zelda. I understand, and I'm one of the people that supported it, where in Breath of the Wild specifically, they didn't have dungeons per se. The beasts were just very tiny puzzle rooms, and they had all the 120 shrines, which were kind of like the puzzle rooms you would have in a dungeon, but spread out. And I was okay with it. But I also would have liked some more traditional, just dungeons. Just at least 1 or 2 dungeons. Especially when the DLC came out, I was like, can you please put a dungeon in here? Like a proper dungeon? That would have been great. Why can I not enter my kitchen? Okay. So, go back to those days of the early gens of both Zeldas where you're like, okay, it's cool to have all the shrines if you want to do that again, but have a labyrinthine maze, you know? And yes, Breath of the Wild had mazes, but mazes that were, like, you know, they were dungeons, but they also had puzzle rooms, they also had intertwining mechanics, and they also had themes, and they really made you sit down and think about the bigger scheme. Force you to rub some brain cells together. That's what I want. Pokemon and Zelda both need to do that. If they're going to copy off each other, they both need to copy off themselves first. Ooh, got some elevation here. Typhlosion is a weasel? Nah, we already have weasels. And they, I don't know. I don't think he's a weasel. What does Bulbapedia say he is? They're kinda right on those things. Because usually the names of it in other languages is more indicative of what anime it's based on. Sometimes it's just a fantasy beast though, and that's cool too. By the way, the platforming in here is very responsive. I jump when I jump, and I can correct myself when I correct myself. This jumping is good. But yeah, Typhlosion, I always wish he got more love. I know it's a hard act to follow Charizard as the fire starter, but man, Typhlosion was still so good, so nice. One thing I actually kind of wish that Oshawott did was not necessarily become a samurai dog, but become, like, stay bipedal instead of becoming four-legged. Because if he's like you know, I love his second form the most, actually. If they just took his second form and made him kind of beefier with like a whole samurai armor like he's supposed to, that I think would have been cooler as a samurai dog than the version that we got of Samurott. That rhymes. So, I don't know. It's one of those where like, the final evolution just goes in a different direction than you think it's going, and I'm not sure I agree with it. By the way, happy Pokemon Day. Today is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon proper. I love the official Pokemon Twitter, where they're like, what's your favorite Pokemon? Shout out if it's like an obscure one. And so many people are like this Pokemon over here is underrepresented because meta reason, IVs, meta reason, moveset, meta reason. I'm like, those are stupid reasons. You are speaking from a calculator's perspective, not from the heart. Shame on you. Get over yourselves. Ooh, so it'll tell us what we can combine things with. Interesting, interesting. So if we combine pork with, I don't know, carrot? Let's see what we get. I don't know if there's like a whole power meal. I'm sure I can go online and look up all the recipe stuff, but there's like 50 recipes. I'm not doing that. Griffin playing Bravely Default 2? Yes, nice. I too was playing Bravely Default 2 earlier. Oh shit, I'm being texted by... Might be raiding tonight after all. We'll see. We'll see. Won't be for another hour and a half anyway, from what they said. No, actually, it'll be half an hour my time, wouldn't it? Damn, I'm gonna have to cut short. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, now that we have pork chops, let's go feed it to our uncle. Oh, let's get everybody up first. I know it's still daylight a little bit. Come on, guys. Is it still too early? It can't be. Or rather, it's too late, isn't it? Centipedes are nice. Opal looks good. It's a bit out of the way, though. Let's go fish for some tuna. Alright, so we have a shrine here. We have somebody that needs help. Actually, There was a passenger in Furukawa. Yeah, I see that now. I mean, we're going over here. We can check back. I may have missed talking to them. I know the shrine we have to get another person on board. Let me finish, however, the people that I have on board right now, because I want to work with the people that I have, because this boat can't handle that many people. We already have 3 passengers on here. And then, and the 4th person, the sheep lady, like, we still have to do her stuff too. So, I'm not even worried about a 5th person just yet. Where's everybody? I know, I would like to, thank you. I'd like to give them to you. Pork chop sandwiches! Who remembers that meme? It's an old meme, but it still checks out. I like how they have 2 different yes for this. They look so damn tasty. Look at our cat. Yeah, I don't know. Nintendo Direct? Okay. I think it was pretty okay. Sony Direct? Not that great. Pokemon Direct? Very good. That's my review of the 3 most recent Directs. What about, it's called the State of Play. Whatever, you know they're trying to be a Direct. They know it. Alright. Meat stew. Okay. So let's combine it with mushroom then. I wonder if any veggie will turn it into meat stew though. Root veggie. This is a root veggie though. Let's just do it with a mushroom and see what comes out. Whenever I just think of mushrooms, I always think back to the Cowboy Bebop episode about mushrooms. Good times. to me, probably one of the most memorable episodes. It just made me laugh. I like the song that played, Mushroom Hunting, when Ed was trying to like chase down the person with the bag. I remember when Spike took it and he was just kept marching downstairs. And he passed that frog. He's like, you know these are the stairways to heaven, right? I just love how this video was so good. We're getting music. This must be the tuna. This tuna is something fierce. Oh man. I don't think we have a strong enough rod for tuna. That or the windows are going to be so tight. Yeah. Nope. Alright. The cooldown on our rod is too short. Or it's too long. It's too long. Damn. I think it's possible. I think it's possible we can get a tuna. I'm sure we have rod upgrades though, but I think it's possible. We're gonna try. I thought about just streaming the raid, but let's be for real, nobody here wants to watch me play Destiny 2. Damn, okay. We're not gonna gain ground that way. Oh wait, that was done. Alright, well there's... I'm asking him if we're doing the raid today, but I'm still not getting a reply, so... F it. I'm streaming this. But yeah, what do you guys think? Did you like the directs plus State of Play? Did you dislike them in general? What were your favorite parts? To me, when you have a buffet line, it's not about focusing on what you didn't like, it's about taking away the stuff in the food that you did like. Nobody expects you to go to a buffet and take one of literally everything they're offering and expect to like all of it. It's much more interesting to see what you choose to put on your plate. Let's do some linen. Because linen looks like we're going to need a lot of linen in general. It's not asking for it, but I'm still going to water him. What do I think about VR? Got the Rift recently, and we're getting it to go, but I feel like tech is still not quite there yet. I mean, it's further than it used to be, man. VR is evolving. VR is getting better as the technology gets not only more affordable and cheaper, but the game design for it gets better as well. The early VR stuff that came out like 10 years ago was just over-expensive garbage. You had to have a cutting-edge PC to even run it, and even then it was going to be chugging. And of course, the gameplay stuff was just more like tech demos. I have a PlayStation VR, and I have played on an Oculus. No, I didn't. I played just on the Vive. Because I'm like, no, it was the HTC Vive I played on. And I played Doom on the Vive, I think, and it ran very well. And I have a bunch of games for the PlayStation VR, and I think it's okay. Like, the most standout examples, the one that really sold me was the one where it's like Starship Troopers, where you're stranded on a planet and you have the gun and you were fighting off bugs. That actually impressed me in terms of tech, because I was always very skeptical and hating on it. Shadows can probably attest to it. I was always talking slap about it. But, Resident Evil 7 is still so good in VR. I was actually expecting... Man, we are not going to catch tuna with this rod. I know there's probably some dude out there who's like, lol, Spiritfarer, level 0 rod, catching tuna, no misses. It's like, that's cool, bro. Nice flex. Let's try, though. I think the tuna has gaps in it that we can take advantage. I think we can get it. I think we can get it. I think we're getting closer. Maybe? I think it keeps turning red around the same area, and we are not gaining ground. Damn. What instead of doing long pulls, we did short pulls? What if we did that? Let's try that instead. Let's change up how we're fishing. Okay, that didn't go well. Let's try it again. Damn. Okay. Short pulls are not initiating cooldowns. So we're gonna go with long pulls. Is there some secret to fishing that I haven't figured out yet? Like if you slack the wire and pull on certain points, it gives more or less resistance. Like maybe if you last a certain amount of time, it'll get tired. I feel like this tune is getting stronger. Ah. We'll give it one more shot. Never calling it, because clearly there's a trick that I don't have. Ah, alright. And of course I hear how good Half-Life Alyx is, but I don't have an Oculus, so I'll never know. It's funny because I actually owned the game. When I was working as a GameStop manager, one year, Gabe Newell actually appeared on stage. It's cool, you get to see a lot of people, like I saw Reggie Fils-Aimé, you know? I saw Gabe Newell in person. That dude doesn't look like he walks a lot, I'm just saying. You seem like a nice guy, but man, you look like you were heaving just walking on the stage. And what was cool is that we got lifetime family passes for Steam. And they were like, you will now have basically all it is you will now own every single Steam-made game by Valve. Steam-made. Any game Valve makes, either before in the past and going forward in the future, I will automatically own. And that's my account just has that for life. And it's funny because at the time when he gave it, it's like Valve hasn't made any games in like 10 years, and I already own all the games that they've made already. Whatever. And so when Half-Life Alyx came out, I was like, I wonder if it's still active. And no, it's still active. It really was a lifetime, like, family membership or whatever, family/employee membership. I don't know, some VIP thing. So yeah, I owned Half-Life Alyx even though I was literally no way of playing it. Let's get some of this crap off our boat. I really wish they didn't put these right here. There's not really a way to short hop and grab them. Unless you're falling down and grab it. You have to like very quickly tap collect while you're jumping, otherwise you go ledge grab. Alright. Let's sell our junk. Ooh, that's a new errand. Let's see. Find and collect 473 coffee beans. What? For what purpose? To get 750 glimmer and 4 tea. Are tea seeds that valuable? I know they sell for 600 a pop, but Jesus, that you spend more than just getting coffee beans. Turnips, like, I can do. I used to have 27 carrots. Actually, no, he's asking for 3. Oh, no. Yeah, that's a 4 out of 3, isn't it? Yeah, it's a 4 out of 3. That's a 473. Phew! I misread that. The bean on top of it made it look like a 7. It's 4 out of 3. It's 4 out of 3, which I have. I just need another corn that I accidentally made as a popcorn. Okay. I was about to be like, excuse me? This game's grind suddenly became unreasonable. I need a sockeye salmon. I think I caught one of those before, but I cooked it. Nebula fabric. I don't think I have that. Bright jelly. It's been a while since we've gone into a... Ooh, he awards citrine for that, though. We are looking for 1 more citrine. Okay, so we might go into a storm. Hematite, interesting. Okay. Anyway, here's some junk. It's pronounced vase and not vase. They are correct, by the way. It's you will never gain ground with somebody when you correct them on the vase versus vase. What reference is this? To find guardians in another life. The vibrant necklace. I don't get the reference. The odd seed. You know what? Let's spare it. Let's buy that weird ass seed. You know, we should buy these glass bottles. They're cheap, and we also use them a lot for a lot of things. We could use the glass, and we could also use it for lightning. Bucket of fried chicken. Okay. What do we need for fried chicken? Oh, we probably need chicken, don't we? Chicken and fat, huh? You don't have to use fat for your fried chicken. What the hell kind of recipe is this? Whatevs. Speaking of KFC, that KFC console, man. That's actually... As weird as it sounds, it's kind of smart to use the internal heat that the system generates to keep your food warm. I'm like, that's actually kind of clever. I think it's ludicrous to bring something like food right next to where you're going to be using electronics in general, but, you know, for some people it doesn't make a difference. How else would you fry it? You can air fry it. Air frying fried chicken or using it in a pressure cooker? Come on, man. You don't need to use the fat on it. Alright, we need some iron ingots to add the icebreaker. We can afford a ship upgrade because we have 13k and that's just 8k. Ooh, if we can get some more oak, we can upgrade our crafting table too. Alright. We don't have the planks for that. We don't have the chicken for that or the fat. Hey. Give Summer 3 gemstones. You know, I guess we can spare her 1 amethyst. Where is she anyway? There she is. What do you like again? Oh, that's right. She likes non-vegan food. How about this mushroom salad? How about a hug? Alright, I'm gonna give you... Okay, so... Wait. We don't have a foundry, do we? No, we have a sawmill. We don't have a foundry. But we want to build one because we can totally make some iron. Okay, I'm gonna give you my 2 citrines. And I'm gonna give you an amethyst. I'm not giving you my opal. Sorry. It's my 1 opal and it's worth like 2,700. Oh, you're gonna ask for different ones, aren't you? Fine. Fine, I'll give you my 1 opal. I mean, to be fair, we just found this one anyway. Are we gonna want the avatar state? Are we gonna align our chakras? Alright. Let's see what she needs for upgrading her house. Hopefully it's not too expensive with the wood. Alright, so... we need oak plank to build a foundry. Alright, so we need to go saw some... Actually... Oak and maple. Is oak the weaker wood? I think we may have enough for that. Yeah, we have 31 oak logs. We can make oak. It's a good thing we didn't use all of them. So she needs an oak plank. Cool, so we just need a bunch of oak planks anyway. Alright, let's start sawing up stuff. Actually, before we can saw stuff during the night when we're not moving. We got daylight. We need to start prioritizing our tasks and start moving places during the day. Alright. We're not good enough yet for tuna. Ooh, a lighthouse. Ooh, there's an opal there. Oh no, that's a shop. I don't want to buy your opal. Cherry seed though. Ooh, they sell tea seeds. And tea is a good profit margin. Alright. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in that quarry. But we're gonna need glide. We probably can't cross this threshold just yet. let's go down here and see what we're looking at. Before I spend all my money on upgrading my ship, let's see what we can buy first. Did that shrimp just come by again? Oops, dropped my phone. Whoa, that transition again is stark. Damn, I was hoping for a... It's an eclipse zone? What does that even mean? Oh, hold on, I'm getting text. Man, they are trying to raid right now. Oh my god, okay. Okay. I'm not thrilled that my raid group is just notifying me 10 minutes before they want to raid that. Oh, hey, that raid that we planned 6 hours ago? Okay, and we didn't come back to you on? Yeah, we're gonna raid. It means it's always night there? How would I know that? Hey, we just made it to the lighthouse just in time. Because, like, over here... Okay, so are you telling me these areas over here... Oh, that's kind of weird. Like, how could I tell it's an eclipse zone? At the very least, I don't think they really talked about that. Man, this is next to a bus stop. At least that'll be handy. I know what an eclipse is, but when they say eclipse zone... What is it? Okay, so I guess if I'm gonna get into this, then I guess I have to cut tonight short. That sucks. Well, I'm gonna finish up this lighthouse real fast and then we'll call it. It's not for Final Fantasy XIV. I'll buy her one pork. Cherries better bring back some massive returns. They're gonna cost 1,200 a pop. Jesus Christ. However, TCs are good because they sell for like 600 back, so... And I can grow those now because I actually have a field. Alright, we don't want to get too greedy. We still want to be able to afford our boat. I'm not ruining your pleasant day. Because it's night. Everything in life is a good attitude. Yeah. Learn a new skill. Yeah. Watch us get like a ground pound or something like that. Alright, so we can't do anything here yet because we can't access this because we don't have the skills for it. Well, there's that. Alright. We'll stop here. Short stream tonight. Thank you everyone who came by, though. We'll try next week. There won't be a stream on Sunday. It will be Wednesday and Saturday. And so we'll see where we go from there. So thank you so much. Thanks for listening to my opinions and feedback from the discussions this past week and the conferences and the shows. It's always nice to just talk about that in a real-time environment. And yeah, I'm currently playing through Bravely Default 2, enjoying it so far. I'm going to try to be timely with making a review and a guide for it, a class guide like I did for the first 2 games, because that's actually what I kind of really want to do. So we'll see where that goes. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see everyone on the next Battlefield on Wednesday. Have a good night.